The Secret Garden and its Little Heroes. In the heart of a quiet neighborhood, just behind a house with a red-tiled roof and a front garden full of roses, lay a somewhat neglected piece of land. For humans, it was nothing more than a forgotten corner, full of tall weeds and thorny bushes. But for a group of very special animal friends, it was an unexplored territory, full of mysteries and promises of exciting adventures. This group of friends consisted of Lila, a little rabbit with fur as soft as snow and a nose that was always twitching with curiosity; Tito, a clever little fox with bright eyes and a bushy tail that wagged with every new idea; and Pip, a cheerful little bird with blue and yellow feathers, whose song always announced a new day. One sunny Tuesday morning, while exploring the boundaries of their usual territory, Lila, with her keen sense of smell, perceived a sweet and unknown aroma coming from the densest part of the undergrowth. "Guys, do you smell that?" she asked, her ears perked up. Tito, who was busy chasing a playful butterfly, stopped his run and sniffed the air. It smells delicious, like strawberries and blue apples." Pip, who was flying just above them, chirped excitedly. "I've never smelled anything like it. Where could it be coming from?" Curiosity piqued the three friends, and they decided to venture into the undergrowth to investigate. The path was not easy. They had to push their way through tangled branches and jump over twisted roots. But the promise of the mysterious aroma kept them motivated. Finally, after a while of hard work, they reached a clearing. In the center, leaning against an old brick wall covered in ivy, they found something they had never seen before. A small wooden door, barely bigger than Tito, with a bronze, leaf-shaped doorknob. "Look!" exclaimed Pip, landing on the doorknob. "What do you think is behind it?" Lila cautiously approached and sniffed around the door. "I don't know, but it looks very old. Do you think we should open it?" Tito, always the most adventurous of the group, was already trying to turn the doorknob. "There's only one way to find out!" With a small creak, the door opened, revealing not a dark and dusty shed, as they had imagined, but a spectacle of colors and lights that left them speechless. Before them lay a secret garden, a magical place that seemed to have come straight out of a dream. Flowers of every imaginable color shone with a light of their own, and most surprisingly of all, they talked. "Welcome, little friends," greeted a large red rose with velvety petals. Her voice was soft and melodious like the sound of a wind chime. "Oh, by all my whiskers," exclaimed Lila, her eyes wide with surprise. "Do flowers talk here?" "Of course we talk," replied a yellow daisy with a radiant smile. "And who are you?" Tito, quickly recovering from his surprise, stepped forward with a bow. "I am Tito. This is Pip, and she is Lila. We found your door by chance." "What a joy to have visitors," exclaimed a bluebell, her voice tinkling like little laughs. "This is our magical garden. We hope you like it." As the three friends ventured further into the garden, they discovered even more wonders. The trees were laden with fruits that changed color as they ripened, apples that went from green to blue and then to gold, strawberries that started out white and ended up with a bright purple hue, and grapes that shone with all the colors of the rainbow. "Look at this!" cried Pip, pecking at an orange berry that suddenly turned green. "It's incredible!" Suddenly, they heard a small sob. It came from behind a large sunflower that seemed to be tilting its head sadly. Lila, always the most compassionate, approached carefully. "What's wrong, friend sunflower?" The sunflower raised its large yellow head, and its petals seemed slightly wilted. "I'm very sad. My seeds don't want to grow this year." Tito, Pip, and Lila looked at each other with concern. They wanted to help the sad sunflower. "Do you need anything special for your seeds to grow?" Tito asked. "I need a little of the laughter of the river that flows through the mountain," replied the sunflower with a sigh. "They say its water has magic." The three friends knew they had to help, but the mountain river sounded very far away. "Don't worry," said Lila with determination. "We'll bring you the laughter of the river." And so began their first adventure in the secret garden. The friends said goodbye to the talking flowers and headed in the direction the sunflower had indicated. The path was not easy. they had to cross a bridge made of giant petals that moved with the wind, and navigate through a labyrinth of floating lily pads on a shimmering pond. At each obstacle, they worked together, using their different skills to overcome the challenges. Lila's agility for jumping, Tito's cunning for finding hidden paths, and Pip's ability to fly and explore from above were crucial. Finally, after what seemed like a long journey, they heard the soft murmur of water. They reached a small stream of crystal-clear water that gurgled and laughed as it tumbled over the stones. "This must be the mountain river," exclaimed Pip. But how were they going to carry the laughter of the river back to the sunflower? They had no bottles or containers. It was Tito who had the idea. "We can use these big lily pads as little bowls. They're perfect." Carefully, the three friends gathered several large leaves and filled them with the bubbling water from the stream. Then, they began their journey back to the secret garden, being very careful not to spill a single drop of the precious liquid. When they arrived at the sunflower's side, its petals seemed even more drooped. Carefully, Lila poured the lily pad water at the base of the large flower. They waited in silence, watching attentively. At first, nothing happened. But then, slowly, the sunflower began to straighten its stem. Its petals opened a little more, and there seemed to be a renewed glow in its center. "I feel something," exclaimed the sunflower with a voice full of joy. "I feel the magic of the river." In the following days, the three friends visited the secret garden frequently. They helped a caterpillar find the perfect leaf to build its cocoon, learned about the different types of pollen from the talking bees, and tasted the delicious fruits that changed color. One day, while playing near a pond full of lily pads, they came across a little snail who looked very worried. "What's wrong, little friend?" Lila asked softly. "I've lost my shell," sobbed the snail. "It fell into the pond and I don't know how to swim to get it back." The pond looked deep and the lily pads slippery. It was a dangerous challenge for any of them. "Don't worry," said Tito confidently. "We'll get it back for you." Tito devised a plan. Pip would fly above to guide him, Lila would wait on the shore to help pull out the shell, and Tito, very carefully, would use a large leaf as a small raft to reach where the shell was. The mission was not easy. Tito slipped several times and the water was cold, but with Pip's guidance and Lila's encouragement, he finally managed to reach the shell and bring it back to the shore. The snail was so grateful that it offered them one of its freshest lettuce leaves as a token of appreciation. Through their adventures in the secret garden, Lila, Tito, and Pip learned many important things. They learned about the sunflower's patience, the caterpillar's delicacy, the bee's diligence, and the importance of helping others. But above all, they learned the value of friendship and the beauty of the nature that surrounded them. One day, while sitting under the shade of an apple tree with blue apples, Lila sighed happily. "This is the most wonderful place in the world," Tito nodded his head. "And all thanks to the fact that we were curious and worked together." Pip chirped cheerfully. "It's the best adventure we've ever had." The three friends knew they would always remember their days in the secret garden, the place where flowers talked, fruits changed color, and where their friendship had strengthened with every challenge overcome. And although they knew that their own world also had its wonders, they would always keep a special place in their hearts for the magic they had found behind the little wooden door. Because they had discovered that true magic resided not only in the secret garden, but also in the friendship and love for nature that they shared.
Whoa! Whoa!
Friends, thanks for joining us on another awesome adventure here. Remember, every day is a new chance to have fun, learn, and be super amazing. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, and share the fun with all your friends. See you in the next video with more surprises, laughs, and epic adventures. Take care and always remember, you're the best. See you soon. Yay, yay.